What is going on, y'all? This is the Caveman. I'm here with Football with Oz Austin for episode 71 of Against the Blitz. And today we're doing a mid-season check-in on the awards that we all love to talk about at this time of year. And we did this before the season started, went through our MVP, offensive, defensive player, etc. And we gave our predictions. And we're going to kind of, like I said, check back in on how those things are looking and what we feel like what direction we feel like these awards could go in now. And this is going to be a good one. I think there's a lot of good conversation that could come from some of these awards. There's always at least one or two of them that spark so much debate. And right now, I think a lot more are up in the air than usual. I could be off base on that, but it feels that way.
Oh, I think looking at my entire thing, I only had one category where I didn't really have to think about it or look at any numbers. Like there was one guy I knew was my answer. All of the other ones, I probably had 2 to even 5 guys that I thought about for each one. Like this was really, really hard.
It was. And the way we're structuring it is we have the player we think will win it, but also the player we think should win it, which when we were thinking about planning for it, my first thought was, are a lot of those going to be the same? Like, is it going to kind of be pointless to do it that way? But it turned out not to be the case at all, just because there really are so many candidates per trophy that it's going to make for some healthy conversation. But before we get into it, of course, be sure you're joining the Discord down in the description below. Talking football, talking awards, talking fantasy every single day. So be sure you're in there. That is linked below. But Austin, where do you want to start? What award do you want to go with first?
I say we start with MVP because this might have actually been the hardest one, which is really weird because usually you have like some offense that's going berserk and there's a quarterback behind it putting up crazy numbers, but we have like 10 of those offenses right now. And a lot of the top quarterbacks that we're used to putting here aren't quite playing to their level. So I'm curious who you put here.
So for the MVP, my vote for who will win it is the vote that I had prior to the season, and that's Patrick Mahomes. It took a few games into the season for the offense and the personnel to really kind of mesh together and to literally be on the field together. And they finally have been. They've looked the form. Against the Bills, it was a little bit more of a early 2025 showing, but their offensive line was really struggling up front. I think that contributed to the performance that we saw from the Chiefs offensively, but that's neither here or there. They've looked good when they're on the field together, and Mahomes has been putting up numbers that we haven't really seen from him in these past few seasons. And the name pedigree just goes a very long way with this kind of thing. So I think Mahomes will win it, but my should vote is someone who I wish I would have pounded the table more for before the season, but I bitched out, which is very unlike me. I just spit everywhere. I bitched out, and that's Matthew Stafford. The vision before the season was Puka Nacua, Devonta Adams, and a Sean McVay offense. What could possibly go wrong? And nothing has gone wrong. The guy has thrown 21 touchdowns, just 2 interceptions, and it feels like at times it's like a sluggish unit. It feels like at times they struggle to put up points against teams that they should be killing, kind of like a Packers-esque feel. But when they need it, they got it. And Stafford has been near perfect. 2,100 yards. I mean, these numbers are insane what he's doing this year.
Yeah. I originally had Mahomes as my will be, but I erased him and I put a different name so that we don't keep seeming like a Patriots hate podcast. I think there's a good chance Drake May wins MVP this year.
Wow.
Based on like not only the production and the efficiency, because those numbers are like shockingly high, but also if they can stay on this trajectory and if they can hit like 11, 12 games or wins, and like they love that argument. They love the argument of like quarterback A puts up decent production and his team won a lot of games. Therefore, he is the MVP. That kind of seems like the new formula, less like production based. But production based is why I too have Matthew Stafford as my should be MVP, because the touchdown numbers are stupid. He's like, 21 touchdowns to 2 interceptions.
Mm-hmm.
He's second in passing yards per game. He has like the second highest PFF passing grade, first in big time throws, and they're winning too. Like it's not like he's just putting up blank numbers. And the winning is partially why I didn't necessarily think Mahomes might win, because they're 5-4. And if they can't turn that around, like if they only win like 10 games, I don't see a world where they're super keen to give it to Mahomes.
That's true. It is very possible that's the case, especially if they don't kind of find that hot streak that they usually strike at some point in the season. Like we've seen this before with them, where early on they struggle. Like they were like 3-4 after they almost lost to the Giants a couple of years ago. And then they ended up as a 12-13 win team, if I remember properly. So I think that still will end up happening. And when you strike, when you get hot at the right time, everything that's most recent in memory will be what matters the most. So that is what I'm projecting ultimately for Kansas City. But right now, it is just undeniably difficult to say it should be anyone else other than Matthew Stafford. And it's not even, which doesn't matter. Like you said, the formula for a quarterback or an MVP winner at this day and age is good production, a good baseline production at that, and just a good football team. But the tape is also there with Stafford. Like he is throwing a perfect ball almost every rep, making the right decision almost every rep. And this is not the most efficient team on the ground either. It's not like this scheme is carrying this unit. It's literally Matthew Stafford, his eyes, his arm, and his decision making. And it really is amazing how much of an engine he is making this team. Like it's not Shanahan, it's not a McVay even to some extent, or a Kubiak who's in this conversation. It just is like Stafford driving the whole train.
Yeah, and I mean, a lot of people like to argue it's Puka and it's Cup, like they're carrying it back to back to back. But even when Puka goes down, he has Devontae Adams and like Jordan Whittington, and he demolishes the Jaguars in Europe. And then Puka comes back, and they don't miss a beat. They're the exact same offense. People said it was Cup. People said it was Calvin Johnson. People said it was Puka. Like at some point, Matthew Stafford is just really, really good. And that might be all there is to it. But unfortunately, I feel like the MVP is very much based on like media, like your media hype. And I feel like Matthew Stafford is just not getting enough love. Everyone's just like, yeah, this is Stafford. We know him to be good. This is him.
Yeah.
But with someone like Drake May, it's like, okay, second-year quarterback, huge jump from the first year. They're 7-2. You know, they're going to make the playoffs, and they have a chance to win the division with a pretty mediocre supporting cast. I feel like people are going to pound that kind of MVP thing, which is like, especially based off of like the Josh Allen and Lamar like arguments every year. It's like, which of them had the worst supporting cast and won the most games? Like that's what people like to base it off of every single time. And with the Patriots, I'd argue his supporting cast is pretty bad too. Outside of like what Hunter Henry and Stephon Diggs, that's what we're really excited about. I don't know. I think May could win it. And I think if I liked the Patriots more, I would definitely probably slam him even over Stafford. But I don't know. Stafford's just been too good. And like what you said, the tape is second to none this season. Like it's not even close.
Yeah, you're right, though. Like last year was the first year in a while, or maybe ever. I mean, I have a hard time remembering a lot of things, but where they truly took into consideration what was happening around the person in question, which was Josh, like what he had to deal with comparatively to Lamar. I think unquestionably that was the deciding factor, because if you wanted to pull up any number, Lamar Jackson was an alien. Like there was not a single statistic that said that Josh deserved it over Lamar. But contextually speaking, that was where all the weight was. And it felt like for the first time that really mattered, which is good. This is what you want when it comes to giving out the most valuable player award. But that is true. Drake May is pulling a lot of weight in that regard as well. So maybe I also have some Patriots hate that I'm not aware of, because I didn't even as nicely as possible, didn't even consider him. And I think part of that is just because I guess it played in Josh's favor too, but the schedule thing, I think that really matters a lot in my mind. And it's not fair. He doesn't control who they play, but it just sits there in my mind, and I think, yeah, but the schedule, and then I'm like, well, Matthew Stafford's also doing this against XYZ opponent, and he looks unbelievable. So that probably is just what it is, I guess.
Yeah, I think the schedule played a little bit into mine as well, where it's like he's like they're just not beating anybody. They have one good win in which he did beat the Josh Allen led Bills, and that was a very impressive performance. That might have been his best of the season, probably his career.
Yeah.
But like outside of that, you're beating up on like the Dolphins and losing games to like the Raiders and the Steelers. Like it's just I don't know. I feel like if they can go to Tampa and beat them and he still plays well and they do the same thing against every above 500 opponent they face, then he might win MVP. But right now they've faced I think 2 teams over 500 and they are 1-1 against them. It's just I don't know. Like you said, the schedule is just so bad that I don't think I can call him MVP just yet.
Yeah, agreed. But it does matter how those signature wins you speak of play a lot into this too. And he does have one. I'm not sure what the schedule looks like down the stretch, but if he does have a couple games in that week like 12 to 18 range where it's like that's a tough game and Drake May played really well to win said tough game, then I think that holds a lot of value too. So it's going to be fun though. There are names that we haven't even mentioned. Like who knows, maybe Baker goes back on a tear again and he re-enters the conversation. So
I mean, currently Josh Allen has the highest MVP odds on a lot of the sports books, which is it's kind of interesting because I feel like they still have had the team success, but I think even compared to last season, I think people would say like the Bills' passing offense has been one of the worst parts of their season so far, and it's not fully on him. You know, the receivers we've talked about are possibly the 32nd ranked receiver room in the NFL, but definitely just odd that a team struggling in that part of the game has the highest MVP odds.
Yeah, it's very weird. Like you said, there's a lot more going on that's wrong with this offense right now, but Josh Allen has not been perfect. He's got a little bit of I guess that's maybe an improper comparison. I was going to say like CJ Stroud-itis. Like he's being affected by external things that are just throwing off his decision making and he's getting antsy. Like those things do affect a quarterback's play long term if you're dealing with it enough. And whether it's their fault or not that these things are breaking down, it causes bad football. And we've seen bad football from Josh recently enough for me to be like, yeah, I don't know why he's even up there. I didn't think of him in this conversation either at all.
It's fair.
So,
all right. Well, I think the offensive player of the year, it's a little bit more narrowed down. I think it would be safe to say to maybe 2 or 3 guys, probably not more than that.
Yeah, I was going to try and make an argument for somebody else, but there's just one player that I could not try and agenda my way out of, and that's Jonathan Taylor. I think he should, and I think he will win it. The bottom line is he's scoring touchdowns. Like that is really where a lot of it goes for this award, I think. Or if you cross the 2,000-yard mark, that also carries a lot of weight. But he's on pace for 28 touchdowns this year. That would be tied for the second most in NFL history with Shaun Alexander. LT had 31. And who knows, if he keeps scorching, he could near that mark. So when you have that going for you, on top of the fact that you are leading almost every single relevant rushing metric that we use today, there's really no other argument. Like JSN could be a 2,000-yard receiver this year, and it might not matter, which is disgusting. That was kind of my angle, like where I could find JSN to give him credit here, but I just can't. Like 28 touchdown pace. This stat is insane to me. Fantasy points, of course, don't go too far for me, but JT is second in the NFL in touches right now. And he has the second most fantasy points per touch at 1.13 fantasy points per touch. Like that is a ridiculous number. The first is RJ Harvey at like 1.2 points per touch, but he has like 68 touches on the year. Like it's ridiculous how productive he's been. And we kind of talked about it earlier, in the season about what is happening to JT's benefit with the offensive line, the scheme success, like that matters. But JT himself has been undeniably fantastic.
And for him, you talked about it with MVP, but like for each person, there's a couple like defining moments or, an argument like that. But I feel like for him, it's the clutch factor. Like it's weird for a running back to talk about clutch factor, but I feel like every time the Colts have been in these really close games and they're trying to run out the clock, I check my phone, 75-yard Jonathan Taylor rushing touchdown, 50-yard Jonathan Taylor rushing touchdown. They're all in the fourth quarter. They're all in really close games against good teams. Like he has been on a ridiculous tear. And the touchdowns, it's not a collection of 1 yard goal line fall in touchdowns. Like these are big time touchdowns, making people miss. He's been involved in the receiving game, which is not a thing that he usually does. And the offensive line's been really good, but I mean, there's a lot of good lines in the NFL. And even Saquon wasn't moving like this last year, where he won Offensive Player of the Year over Jamar Chase, who I think was doing better than JSN is right now. But JSN's a very hefty honorable mention. Though, if you said him, I could see your angle because he has more yards. He's been more consistent. He hasn't had a game below 75 yards all year. I can see that angle, but for me, it's pretty comfortable. Should be and will be Jonathan Taylor, who is honestly a candidate to be MVP too.
Yeah, if this was 2012, 100,000%, he probably leads. He probably leads the race, the MVP odds right now. If this was like 2012, which is a shame because that should be how it is still. But yeah, he has been that good for them. And kind of going back to the offensive line / Jonathan Taylor argument or debate, whatever. Jonathan Taylor has had 5 rushes this year, which is leading the league in runs where he reached over 20 miles an hour. That is crazy that he can move like that, for one. But for two, that kind of goes to show the airplane runways he's been given. Like he's not reaching 20 miles an hour while getting contacted at the line of scrimmage. It's like there have been runs where he's got the red carpet rolled out for him and he's able to hit those top speeds. So this is not to, downplay the offensive line's play either. It's just a perfect marriage, really, is what's going on.
It is. And I mean, I think that their record shows that. It's not like it's just one player doing a crazy thing. It's not just an offensive line doing a crazy thing. It's a full team doing a really crazy thing. And that's why they're 7-2 as a team that looks pretty similar to how they did last season.
For sure. Well, defensive player of the year. This is an interesting one. I want to.
Yeah.
Who's your should and who's your will?
So for my should, I kind of almost went the Josh Allen route here. I went Myles Garrett, where it's like, yeah, he might not lead in pressure. I mean, he does actually. I think he's second in sacks. Like he has the numbers. He has the 5-sack game against Drake May. But I feel like when you watch a Browns game and you watch just how much of an emphasis people put on not letting Myles Garrett wreck the game. I've never seen anything, maybe since Aaron Donald, he's the only player I've seen in a while where people don't give him a chance to win. Like it screens, they get the ball out quick, or he is being triple teamed. So with that, and with he's top 10 in every pass rush statistic you could ask for, top 5 in most, it's got to be Myles Garrett. But I think it probably will be Micah Parsons. I think that for starters, he's first in odds, I'm pretty sure. But at the same time, he has the pressures. He's been involved in a lot of clutch moments. And just the storyline is just absolutely perfect.
Yeah, that's true. I think there's a lot of this might be wrong to say, but I think there's a lot of narrative driving media hype for Micah that's going into this. The Packers are as good of a team as they are because of Micah Parsons. Let's be honest. That is their MVP. Him and Tucker Kraft have been their MVP. Jordan Love is not in the top Jordan 5 of that conversation. Like Micah Parsons and Tucker Kraft have been that team's, knight in shining armor. But yeah, like you said, Myles Garrett is it's just kind of like with the Matthew Stafford thing. You just expect him to be good. So it's like, he's good. Yeah. Wow, Myles Garrett is doing Myles Garrett things. So what? It's like, so what? This guy's got 5 sacks in a game that they lost. Like, what more could he have done?
This happened to LeBron every year. Like, yes, like LeBron should. I don't. How many years did LeBron play? He should have that many MVPs.
Yeah,
but for some reason, people are just like, yeah, but like it's cooler when someone else puts up the same numbers, even though they have like less impact. Clearly, like Myles Garrett is fighting tight ends, running backs, a left tackle, and a chip from a left guard on every single play. Like it's not even close for double teams, but still, he's putting up monster numbers. He almost single-handedly destroyed the Patriots offense with 5 sacks. That's stupid. And none of them were one-on-one. Like none. He was shredding people. And I feel like people just to look at like the pure numbers and say, oh, well, Brian Burns has more sacks. He has a couple more pressures too. Like, I honestly don't care. Like, Brian Burns has been great. He is deserving to be in a top 5 conversation for Defensive Player of the Year. But the only person really close to me was Aiden Hutchinson, to be honest. He's been on a tear that people aren't talking about quite enough either.
Yeah, Aiden Hutchinson was my will win Defensive Player of the Year. I think with him too, he was well on track to win it last season, and of course he broke his leg. I think seeing him come back, which could also be an award for later on, come back and dominate the way he has is just unbelievable. There's really no describing how good he has been this year. Another guy that really is the centerpiece of a not so talented unit. I mean, I'll give, the Brian Branches and the Kirby Josephs credit, but really, the Jack Campbell in the middle, they have some pieces, but it's not like this is the most well-rounded group of all time. Like it's kind of Aiden Hutchinson and a bunch of role players who are playing well, and they're one of the best defenses. They play pretty good ball. Like he took over that game against the Vikings. It just didn't matter because Brian Flores and those dogs ate Jared Goff for lunch. But, that defense did their job too. So he is also another guy at the top of mostly every pass rush statistic. So a lot goes in his favor.
Is there a guy even being remotely mentioned that isn't an edge rusher?
Yes.
Who would that be?
To win?
Yeah, like top 5 Defensive Player of the Year consideration. Like to me, it's been Myles Garrett, Micah Parsons, Brian Burns, and Aiden Hutchinson. That's like the top 5 that I've been hearing. But is there another guy in there that's not an edge rusher?
Well, funny you ask. My should win Defensive Player of the Year, and this is definitely projection based, is Kyle Hamilton. He's had the disadvantage of having to actually play safety. I think the Ardarius Washington injury really did that defense a disservice. Like Zach Orr is not very good at his job, but I think that threw a real big wrench in their plans for how they were going to deploy Kyle Hamilton. And as I was doing my research for this episode, I, was digging into Kyle Hamilton, and I was really learning how much the way he was being deployed mattered compared for these last couple of weeks, for the last few weeks, and then compared to the early part of the season. Like the Aloy Gilman trade, it seemed so like pointless on the surface, but as we've seen over these past few games, Kyle Hamilton is only aligned at safety 1 snap in these last 2 games. They had a bye, so 3 weeks, 2 games.
Yeah,
he has been in the box every other snap, whether it's at a linebacker, he's lined up at edge rusher, he's been the nickel the nickel defender. Like he has been literally like the queen on the chessboard, and he's made splash play after splash play on another defense that really doesn't have much else going for it. Like this 4 or 5 weeks ago was considered the 32nd ranked defense in football. And they're starting to kind of climb their way back, become more relevant. And it's all because of the mismatch that Kyle Hamilton creates no matter where he is around the line of scrimmage. It's like he's too big, he's too fast, he's too smart, that he just breaks the rules of football. It's like a tight end should be able to blow a safety off the line of scrimmage, but they can't because he's bigger than a lot of tight ends. He's longer than a lot of tight ends. He's able to get out on run pass options because he's so smart, and he's recognizing these things because he's not a big oaf at 280 that doesn't know what's going on and just chasing the ball carrier. Like, he's picking up on things that edge rushers wouldn't. So he, like I said, has not had the greatest start, but I think he's going to really heat up and will be the reason why this Ravens defense kind of returns to form and why they ultimately are one of the best teams in the AFC again.
I think he would have more of a shot if he like got production.
Right.
Like Kyle Hamilton is only the kind of guy you can appreciate if you watch the games. Like he doesn't get a lot of highlights per game. He's just constantly in the right place at the right time.
Mm-hmm.
And that's not luck. Like in the NFL, you don't just magically get in the right place at the right time unless you're Beanie Bishop. More often than not, it's because you put yourself there. But like, dude, if he could get like 3 interceptions, 2 sacks, maybe a couple forced fumbles, 80 tackles in a year, I think he could definitely become a defensive player of the year. Like he's 24 years old. That's kind of insane because if I had to compare him to anybody, it's like Fred Warner.
Mm-hmm.
When we're talking about like diagnosing, versatility, probably one of the only players in the NFL to impact the pass and the run as much as he does. And that's why people value edge rushers so much. Someone like Myles Garrett, elite run defender, impacts the pass game so much. But when you have a safety that can do that too, he might deserve to be paid like one.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's really unheard of, and that's exactly what I wrote. Like there isn't like a laundry list of individual statistics that you can point to and say this is why Kyle Hamilton would deserve said award, and that's really the frustrating part, and why he definitely fits the should and not the will, but you really can feel the shift that's happening with the Ravens defense, and it's all because of that. So you're right. I think that is a perfect way to describe Kyle Hamilton, as a 24-year-old just freak of nature, really.
Yeah, he's way better than Beanie Bishop. We'll hot take.
Kick him while he's down. Just got released. You gotta keep kicking him. That's funny.
I'm sorry, Beanie.
Well, I want to tie that into our defensive rookie of the year conversation, because similar to Kyle Hamilton, my should for defensive rookie is Carson Schlesinger, who is someone that did get a lot of love earlier in the season when he was actually playing, but between a bye week, he's missed some time due to ankle something.
It's ankle sprain, I think.
It's kind of died down, but he's another guy that you feel the impact if you're watching the game. You just can't, like, other than tackles, find this stat and then that number and then this stat that will say, yes, that's why Schlesinger would win. But if you realize and you watch the impact that Schlesinger has had, he absolutely deserves to be at the top of this conversation. And that also is part of the reason why part of the reason why I do think he should also win is because I don't really feel that strongly about anybody else. Like, who's really doing that much at this point?
From my guy, I would have had Schlesinger here if he didn't have to miss like a month's worth of games for injury.
Yeah.
I think he could have had should and would win. I think that he was being pretty favored to win because we have not seen a linebacker come in and be so captain-y. Like, he's so pro ready when he came in. Like, he is playing like a veteran. He's playing like a team captain, and he was impactful from his first preseason game. He was immediately the best player on the field, and he's been probably their second best player on the field ever since. And the injury was so untimely because it's not a bad one. It won't linger throughout his career, even next year, but it's like a month and a half worth of missing time. I think that'll sting. So I actually had Jahad Campbell, who I think should win, because he's again he's not impacting the stat sheet like how you would like him. And that one wheel route to Bucky Irving that scored a touchdown will demolish his stats, even though he played good coverage for like 8 seconds, and then it was a good throw to beat him. But Jahad Campbell has, in my opinion, already set himself apart as being one of the biggest freak linebackers in the league. He's like 6'3 plus, 245 plus. his coverage has been phenomenal, which was kind of a question mark coming in. Like we all knew he was capable, but we didn't know how it would translate, and it's translated better than I even thought. And I think him and Schlesinger were both playing like top 15 linebackers in the NFL. So I'm even though I was the Schlesinger guy, I was the biggest Schlesinger fan in the world. I'm still happy to say Jahad Campbell has been unbelievable, and who I think will win, sadly, is Abdul Carter.
I
Because
wrote the same.
this is an edge rusher award. He doesn't even have a full sack, but he has a lot more pressures than the next guy. He has the tangible pass rush statistics, the Jared Verse statistics to put him up there, but he is not impacting games like how Jared Verse was. Not against the run. He's been very pedestrian against the run. And he's made a couple splash plays here and there that I think will kind of be his Heisman moments, be his defensive rookie of the year moments. But man, it should be one of those two linebackers, or like Will Johnson, who's also been great. But yeah, it should not be Abdul Carter.
Agreed. I think it will be, but yeah, you're right. It shouldn't be. You can definitely it's another if you watch and you feel, and with Carter, the difference impact wise he's making versus a guy like Schlesinger or even Campbell is just not, it doesn't match at all. And it just does suck. Like untimely was such a good word for Schlesinger's injury, because he was just getting better week after week. Like that Packers game was, not even his peak moment. He just continued to get better and better. But that was one of those games that you're like, wow, this kid's legit. And it's just piled up. I hope that he's able to come back like by week 11. Like I think if he misses any more time than that, it's probably a done deal. But hopefully we're able to see him. But yeah, Abdul Carter will. Yeah, he's gonna win.
He should not, but he will.
Yeah.
Offensive. So who do you have? I was about to say offensive rookie of the year is even harder for me. And I think there's a lot of deserving guys, and I think that a guy outside of that group might even win it again. So, but I'm curious who you got first.
For my should win offensive rookie of the year, I stuck with Emeka Egbuka. He's 11th in the NFL in receiving yards, first amongst rookies. He's tied for 7th in touchdowns, tied first amongst rookies with Torrey Horton, who's got like 20 targets on the year, which is kind of crazy. 15th in the NFL in yards per route run, first amongst rookies, and a guy that no one really, I won't say no one, I think it was Sam or T-Ball preseason said that he would lead like the Buccaneers in receiving or something. And we're like, yeah, I guess if everyone gets hurt, and lo and behold, everyone died. So here we are, but thrusted into a big role. And he's pulled through for the Bucs, and he really fits the mold of a dominant modern day receiver. Like the JSNs, the Puka Nakuas, these efficiency monsters that are just always finding space. They always know where to get open in the zone. Like he can win downfield. There's really nothing that Egbuka has really had a red flag about. And he's kept this passing offense afloat single-handedly, really.
Yes. Is that your should be and will?
That was my should be. My will is different.
Okay.
And my will is Jackson Dart. I think this is going to be severely media driven. Like, I'm not going to say it's undeserved, but I think this is going to be pushed hard. And it's deserved to some extent. Like, he's first amongst rookie quarterbacks in touchdowns, rushing yards, rushing touchdowns. And going back to the media part, the propaganda is that he's probably going to save Brian Daboll's job. This was a reeling organization that was looking for an answer, and they threw what was supposed to be their development project into the fire to die. And he's come out looking pretty strong compared to expectation. So I can get behind that, but relative, if you take the context lenses off, see what I did there? Context lenses. Yeah, that was good. If you take those off and you kind of look at it from a scope of like NFL expectation and good NFL expectation, like he's just not quite there. Whereas Egbuka is playing like literal top shelf receiver. Dart isn't really playing top shelf quarterback. He's just playing better than what the Giants are used to quarterback. And I think that could carry him far enough to win this award.
Yeah, I also picked Dart for my will be. Like you said, like if you want to take the angle of most valuable, the quarterback position is going to win it every single time. But this, thankfully, is not an MVP award. This is an offensive player of the year award. Like, which offensive player was the most impressive? Which of them was the best at their position? And I had a tie for number one, who I think should win. Like, Igbuka was one. Tyler Warren was the other one. And I ended up going with Tyler Warren because he's putting up scarily similar statistics to Emeka Igbuka thus far. And I know he has one less game, but like to be a tight end with Daniel Jones and to be blocking the way he has to bring that crazy spark that he has after the catch, like Tyler Warren has been phenomenal. And Jonathan Taylor, like he gets a lot of hype, but Jonathan Taylor is kind of stealing all of it. And Daniel Jones is stealing the last crumbs of that. But Tyler Warren has been scarily good and borderline a top 5 tight end in the NFL already.
I would say confidently. I mean, with who's like Kelsey's not in that conversation anymore. So
no, I was thinking about it earlier. So let's even run through that. So Tyler Warren or Bowers?
Bowers, I'd still say right now. It's
close.
Like I won't. I'm not.
I don't know, but it's not close. After what happened yesterday.
Yeah, fair.
Yeah, with like the craziest fantasy football performance in tight end history.
Yeah, that's
the day he comes back healthy. Trey McBride.
I'd still go McBride, I think, but it's close.
That's again. 2. Kittle.
I mean, maybe for like 2025 and 2026, but that's about it. So I guess Kittle still, but what's the difference? Like, what?
Yeah, and then Tucker Kraft.
I think that's where the line is like really gray. Like I think either way, you're getting a very successful, very dominant tight end in very similar facets of the game. So that would be 5 though with Kraft and Warren, right? Bowers, McBride, Kittle, Kraft, Warren.
Depends how you feel about Sam Laporta.
Nah, he out.
You think you're taking Tyler Warren over Sam Laporta?
Yeah, comfortably.
You got him firmly at 5 then. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so top 5 tight end in the NFL as a rookie. I feel like that could be deserving of offensive rookie of the year, but even with Bowers, we learned last year that still might not be enough.
Yeah, definitely. It's unfortunate though. Like you said, the Thunder is being stolen by like everybody else. He's having the quietest breakout ever. Like no one's really talking about it. Like everyone's talking about Igbuka. Like look at Igbuka, look at him go. Warren is dominating similarly. And I mean, I guess I won't say in a harder fashion, but like he is as good as advertised after the catch. And he really turned out to be one of the most overthought prospects of this last draft cycle. It's like if you're a football player, you're a football player. And that applies to Tyler Warren. Like I think the situation, the way the culture deploying him has definitely benefited him. But for the Bears fans that are victory lapping bad tackling on a 64-yard game-winning touchdown by Colston Loveland saying, see, we made the right pick at tight end. Stop. Like
why can't they both be awesome? Like Sam,
right.
like Colston Loveland is very talented. I think he could be a top 10 tight end pretty damn soon.
Yeah.
But Tyler Warren thus far has been the better tight end. I don't see why it has to be like, yeah, Tyler Warren might not also be that good in Chicago.
Mm-hmm.
There's a chance Colston Loveland goes to Indianapolis right now and is playing like a top 5 tight end. Very, very talented football player. Like multiple things can be true, but as of right now, Tyler Warren has comfortably been the far more impressive football player thus far.
Yeah. It's just the insecure fan bases that have to create these problems.
Oh my God. I feel like every fan base is so insecure. That's a good word for it.
There's like always one player per team that one fan base will just be so defensive and so like prickly over, and that is Loveland with the Bears. Right?
I feel like on this show, I think it's been Jordan Love, and Bryce Young have been like the ones that have caught the most flack as of late. But yeah, there's a chance Colston Loveland is for some reason going up there too, because those Bears fans have been so insecure lately.
Well, off script comment, the Titans traded Draymond Jones to the Ravens for a conditional fifth that could become a fourth. So
no,
they got some interior help. It's been Travis Jones and friends. So I guess Draymond's actually not been bad. So that's interesting.
Yeah, he's such a weird player because he's not like interior, but he's not an edge.
Right.
He's like 6'3", 285. What even is that? That's like like the Solomon Thomas build that like
that's
no
a
one
Ravens
has known.
player. That's what that is.
That is a Broderick Washington like kind of build right there. Like, and I think Washington's been hurt, so it might make sense why they would go for someone like that. But yeah, that's interesting for sure. Good on the Titans getting rid of all your 28-year-old players or older. Sure, whatever. Get rid of Arden Key too. Like sell the whole team. I keep seeing people talking about like Arden Key is on every single trade. Who the fuck's trading a day 2 pick or day 3 pick for Arden Key? Day 3 maybe. Day 2? Hell no. Hell no.
I was just about to say most popular trade candidate Arden Key. He gets mentioned.
Does he have a sack?
I don't know. Has he played? I feel like he hasn't even been playing.
Oh, he does. He's per PFF. He has 2 sacks, which means a little different. He has 9 pressures on the year, which is like half that Donovan Ezeraku has, and people have been shitting on him all year.
Yeah.
So yeah, Arden Key, great player. You should trade your 3rd round pick for him.
Someone will too. That's the best part.
Dude, people are talking about this Jalen Phillips thing like it's the steal of the century. Are we talking about 2 different Jalen Phillips right now? Like one that's on like a 4-year contract, not on the last year of his. Like he's a good player, no doubt, but like he's the most injury prone player like in the league outside of like Caleb Farley, and his contract is up this season. So it's like it's a rental and probably a very impactful one. But a 3rd round pick's a lot. Like it's really a lot to give up for a 1-year rental if you don't know for a fact you're extending him.
This is Chase Young written all over again. That's how it feels to me. Like,
yeah,
it'll be helpful. Do I think it's going to yield like these very fruitful rewards for Howie Roseman and he broke the league? Like how did Howie do it again line needs to be abolished.
It's so annoying. John Mechie to the Eagles. Who let him have John Mechie? It's so stupid. It's so
how did he do it? How did he do it? It's like
he got Jacorian Bennett. No, it's over for the league. Like, dude, they're so annoying.
That was a big one too when they traded for Jacorian Bennett and they're like, look at them, man. They traded a D tackle that they didn't need, and they got this very high upside corner that can really help this room and break out. It's like, yeah, cool. Jacorian Bennett. He's done how much this year?
Yeah,
right.
like
nothing.
That's like, yes, he's might be one of the best GMs of my lifetime, but it's so annoying that every single move he makes is just the most glazed. Like all of a sudden, John Mechie became really valuable and really, really high upside and good. But in Houston, he's, receiver 9.
literally receiver 9.
Yeah. Well, enough trade talk. We might have an episode coming out about that soon, but we can move on to the coach of the year, which I think has a lot of different guys you could talk about, but I whittled it down to 2. How many did you look at?
Just 2.
2
and only 2.
Okay. Are they the same person for your awards? Like, did you get the same person for your should be and would we?
Yes, I did. I ended up going with Shane Steichen for should and will. And I don't love it because I think Kyle Shanahan deserves so much love, but the Colts, we have talked about the Colts so much. You just cannot deny what they were supposed to be per expectation prior to 2025 and what they are now. The award is so very what's the word I want to use?
It's context based.
Yes. It's very much based on expectation. This award is. And Kevin Stefanski has won it twice for dragging the Browns out of the pits of misery. And Brian Dable won it, who's been on the hot seat lately. He won it because he got a successful season out of the Giants. It just, that matters way too much to give it to anybody else. And even though Kyle Shanahan probably did some dirty deal with the devil and all of his players are dying and yet they're still winning football games, it still just is not enough to kind of win it over Steichen, in my opinion.
Yeah, I did pick Steichen as my will and should, but I also thought about Mike Vrabel a lot.
Okay.
Because for same reasons, you come into a team that neither of us thought the world of coming into the season. They are winning a lot of football games, and a lot of players that needed to develop are developing. Not even just Drake May, but bringing out Kayshon Boutte. A lot of their decision making in close games has been very, very good. But the only thing that really kept Vrabel from winning it, I think, to me, was just like we talked about before, the schedule. And the Colts have had an easy schedule too. But when you can resurrect Daniel Jones, that by itself is pretty much good enough for me to give you the coach of the year award. But on top of that, you're 7-2. Your defense is playing great. Everything relating to the Colts is up. The vibes are up. And I think Steichen is very, very much to do with that.
Absolutely. And once again, a guy that was under heavy fire for the way 2024 was handled for a multitude of reasons. Like, it was a disaster in that organization. Mm-hmm. Another guy that could have been on potential fired candidates lists prior to the season. Like, I think people could have said, yeah, I think Steichen could be fired by week 8 of 2025, before this year started. And here we are. It's the polar opposite. There's just way too much going in his favor, even though there are definitely other worthy candidates. It's just they are in the wrong year. They're having their best season in the wrong year.
Yeah.
So, it is what it is.
Yeah. Like, if it's the same LeBron argument, it would be Andy Reid or Sean McVay every single season if we went off of the coach of the year. But it's kind of just like which coach stopped sucking this year. That's kind of more what the award is for. And Shane Steichen was on the hottest of hot seats going into this year. And I think picking Daniel Jones saved his job. I think that's going to be that decision alone and how well it's worked out with their record is going to probably give him the award.
Yeah, and deservingly so. I
Sure.
think it's hard to go anywhere else. What about assistant coach of the year? I'm interested to hear who your candidates were for this one.
I think it will be, based off of a lot of the hype, Clint Kubiak of the Seahawks, for just the efficiency that they have ran with Sam Darnold and Jackson Smith and Jigba, like possibly being an offensive player of the year candidate. Kubiak has been phenomenal. And they got rid of Geno and then got rid of DK and Lockett, and everyone thought that this offense was going to suck. People thought that, Kubiak's style didn't work with Darnold. People thought he wouldn't be able to adjust for some reason. And a lot of people thought that would keep them from being like a 10-11 win team. And so far, he has been phenomenal. But I personally give it to Jim Schwartz, defensive coordinator of the Browns, because they have been an unconscious unit. And so much so that, like, when you have an offensive-minded head coach and your best unit is your defense, I think it's so easy to spot who solely is responsible for that. And it's all Schwartz.
I consider Jim Schwartz heavily here because we've seen this exact storybook before with the Browns. Offense sucking, the quarterback situation's a mess, they can't score points, but here is Myles Garrett and Jim Schwartz's pressure packages just somehow willing this team to competitive games. Like, I do think as dominant as they've been, that what was a 2023 version, they actually won games. Like, I don't think we've quite gotten to that point yet, just because of how bad their offense has been, which was kind of one of the reasons why they weren't my final, or Schwartz wasn't my final choice. But you cannot deny what Jim Schwartz has done, and he's kind of getting the Spagnuolo treatment to some extent. Mm-hmm. Like, he's got good players. He's got a good scheme. Everyone knows what he's all about. But no one will ever consider him to be a head coach again. Like,
Yeah,
he's just
he's a
forever.
weirdo.
Yeah,
Like,
is he?
Yeah, who did he try and go fight on the field? Who was that?
I don't remember.
So it might have been Jim Harbaugh or John Harbaugh. One of those two, like, gave him a really weird handshake at the end of a game. Like, he came up and just slapped his hand and then ran away. And Jim Schwartz literally chased him down and was like being like held back by security because he was trying to beat him up.
Yeah.
So I think that alone has kind of kept Jim Schwartz from ever seeing a head coaching job again, and just how mediocre his teams always were.
Yeah, for sure. But that doesn't mean he doesn't make for a good coordinator. Like, he is the epitome of not a leader of men, but definitely a good play caller. And that's worth a lot in this league. Like, his talents deserve to be utilized somewhere else, but he has gotten just banished to the depths of Cleveland to just rot away with Myles Garrett.
Yeah.
But I like that. I like that choice. My will win it was also Clint Kubiak. And I think the thing that makes it so impressive with what he's done in Seattle is everyone expected, like, Kubiak, at least I did. Maybe I'm speaking for more people than I should. I expected this run game to be the engine of this offense, but the run game fucking sucks. It is really Sam Darnold and JSN, and the way Kubiak has meshed these multiple tight end packages into the passing game. Like, AJ Barner's like silently emerging. Elijah Arroyo's had games here and there. Like, Cooper Kupp is as good as another guard on the outside when he's healthy. So he's done such a good job at getting the most out of everyone he has, and it's not been in the way that I expected it to be. So I think he deserves a lot of credit for uniquely deploying this personnel. Like, Darnold is lacing this thing everywhere. Like, I did not see that coming. I thought they were going to be a team that ran the ball very efficiently and Darnold was managing the game. But it's really the opposite. It's just Darnold throwing the shit everywhere, and JSN is just somewhere down there.
I mean, I think that he just realized that his running back sucks, and it was finally time to air it out. Like, they tried running it, and he has the worst starting running back in the league. So he had to move on. That's why Charbonnet is getting all the touchdowns. I'm kidding. I don't hate Ken Walker. I don't. I just hate his fans.
Oh. Speaking of trade stuff, I don't know why one of those guys aren't off that team yet.
I think easily Ken Walker would have so much trade value. Like, I think a lot of people see him as just this hyper elusive, hyper explosive running back that's fairly scheme proof. A lot of people view him as. So yeah, I think he has. Is this a contract here? I think it is.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it is for Brees. So yeah, a small little rental. I'm not sure why the Chiefs or God forbid the Bears, like somebody. I think it could be pretty cool.
It would be. It's just very odd that we're seeing like Arden Key at the top of these trade lists, and
I hate Arden
no
Key.
mention of Ken Walker or Charbonnet. Very odd.
Yeah. Charbonnet, like, he seems like he's done something so right in practice over and over and over again, where they have him at priority, but they love George Halani. They love a lot of the guys they have on that team. Like, I am shocked that they've just stuck it out. But I mean, I guess because they're doing really, really well, there is no reason to really move on from a running back that's still kind of helping you.
Yeah, I guess.
But not really. Like,
yeah, is he though? Like, I don't know.
Not really. Like, he gets like 35 to 45 yards a game, and it's things that like George Halani could be doing. So I don't know. It's weird.
Well, Kubiak is my will win it. I cannot believe I'm saying this. I don't even know if I could say it.
Oh?
I would give my vote to Arthur Smith right now. if I had genuinely, if you gave me a card and said vote on your coordinator, assistant coach of the year on this card, write it down. I would write down Arthur Smith. This guy has a 40-year-old quarterback behind a mid to a slightly above average offensive line, 3 tight ends in Jalen Warren, moving to the tune of 13th in the league in EPA per play. They are averaging 25, a little over 25 points per game. Like, DK Metcalf is an afterthought on this team. He is like 33rd in the NFL amongst receivers and targets. Like, how they're functioning doesn't make sense, but it's working. And I can only attribute that to one man. Like, somehow Arthur has managed to get Aaron Rodgers to develop a connection with fucking Darnell Washington. That's like his favorite receiver these past couple of weeks. Like, it's just so bizarre that it's working the way it is. And this is this is not your average Steelers team. Like, the Tomlin-led Steelers are not going to get to above 500 because their defense is willing them to football games, because Boswell is kicking 19 points per game. It's going to be because of this offense. This defense it's in spite of them. And I think Arthur Smith, as much as he's gotten shit from me, from everyone in the past, deserves more hype than he's getting right now, because the Steelers, albeit will reach their inevitable 9-8 season, at least it won't be the traditional Steelers way. It will be because of Arthur and family here.
I just don't know what to make with this team. Like, they are better than expected, but I feel like they're still such like an average unit.
Yeah.
But they're scoring points. Like, I think they are 13th in points scored per game. But they are, I mean, I believe they're like 28th in yards per game. So I don't understand how they're scoring all their points. It's just like, I think a lot of their drives aren't working, but the ones that are working end in touchdowns like a lot. But it's really, really strange. I don't understand the identity of this offense. It's just like Rodgers and 3 tight ends and Jalen Warren, who I'm pretty sure just scored his first 2 rushing touchdowns of the season last week. Like, I don't know Caleb Johnson. Also, none. Like, he gets his touch of the day. But yeah, I'm really confused about this whole team. But good for them. Like, he's been good. I just never thought I would hear him be an offensive or assistant coach of the year talks.
It just is. If you would have said prior to the year that the reason the Steelers are going to be a 10-win team is because Aaron Rodgers and Darnell Washington connection is carrying them to 25 plus points per game, I would have spit. I would have assaulted you. Like, I would have been so upset that you could be so irrational. But here we are. It's 2025, and DK Metcalf is just, honestly, I think he's hurt them like almost as much as he's helped them at times, and they're still scoring.
He's been a weirdo, but yeah, there's no guy to point to really. It's just like the unit itself, which is kind of sick,
right? Like, I guess if I'm gonna follow my rule of thumb of like, you gotta, if you can't figure out personnel wise who to give credit to, you gotta look at who's kind of conducting it. So
that is true. That's fair. Like, that's why I'm not arguing with it, because I'm like, it's kind of insane, but at the same time, like, they haven't been a bad offense, and they don't have really that good of players on it. So it's fair. You can deduct that like a pretty solid offense with shitty players is due to good coaching.
Yeah. Crazy world.
But I hate it.
I hate it too. I hate it. It's killing me inside. But
you're just clip farming. It's not real. Who's your real answer?
I'm not, I swear. I literally looked at the candidates, and then I looked at the numbers for the Steelers. I'm like, wait, why are they 13th in EPA per play? Like, never would I think they'd be top.
That's the Jordan Love stat.
That's the scheme stat. That is it's
it
either a quarterback, it's either purely a quarterback stat or purely a scheme stat.
I feel like it's mostly a scheme stat. Like EPA in terms like a quarterback can only do so much like all game long. But I feel like majority it's scheme. And that's like what people refer to when they say Jordan Love's a top 10 quarterback is the EPA.
Yeah.
But I feel like my eyeballs are telling me, and the stats are also telling you like he's very, very much an average quarterback.
Yeah, Jordan Love threw his bloke interception of the week by hawking up a deep bomb in year 5 into triple coverage. It's
On
like
1st and 10.
like when are people going to realize that he's just not out of that phase? Like it's not Matt LaFleur holding him back. It's he's saving him. LaFleur is saving Love from himself. You cannot let
LaFleur made
that
him
dude
throw
out
that.
the chain. Yes.
That wasn't even the worst throw of the day.
No, it wasn't.
The other one on 4th down in the goal, on the end zone was the worst throw I've ever seen. Bryce Young actually had one that was almost worse.
Dude. Oh, this was
it looked like an optical illusion. Like the ball looked like it was about to be the most perfectly thrown touch pass into the back of the end zone, and it was actually like 15 yards off into the corner's arms.
Yeah, I remember seeing that. I'm like, wow, what a play by McKinney. And I'm like, wait, how did he even get there? I'm like, wait, that doesn't make sense that he got that ball. I was like, that's a
it was
perfect
just
throw.
so inaccurate that looked great, but it was not.
No. Bryce Young getting another victory, throwing for sub 100 yards. Yeah.
Oh my god. Yeah, Rico Dowdle ran for more than than Bryce Young passed for, but Bryce Young, great performance, pal.
I fucking hate Bryce Young.
But I love him. He's the most likable guy like in the NFL. God, I hate how quarterbacks get so much credit for wins. It's so annoying.
He's getting glazed right now because did you see Micah Parsons in an interview say that on that run where Rico Dowdle ran for 20 yards to basically ice it on that final drive, Micah Parsons said that it looked like Bryce Young gave Rico Dowdle a check to pass protect, and it confused the Packers defensive front into thinking he wasn't going to get the football, which is why he was sprung for 20 yards. And everyone is like, dude, Bryce Young, look at him. It doesn't matter how many passing yards he has. He pretended to give Rico Dowdle that pass blocking duty, and that's why they won the game. It's like, really, this is how we're going to sculpt Bryce Young into a franchise quarterback by pointing out him pretending to audible. I do that in Madden all the time. I pretend to audible constantly. It's not getting me top 10 Madden player comparisons. Like, God, I can't.
That's a coaching thing also. Like you don't just make that up. Like that is told to do by your coach. That's so strange. But good for him. They're winning.
Somehow.
It was the same thing with JJ McCarthy this week. It was like he was okay. But he had like 140 yards and he won. But people are acting like the Vikings franchise quarterback is here.
Yeah.
He played okay. He had a couple good throws on that first 2 drives, but they're saying he's the next Burrow. Like Burrow is back. He's healthy. He's playing for the Vikings. Like no, he threw for 140 yards and 2 touchdowns and a pick. Like that's the most slightly below average stat line I've ever. That's the most Jackson Dart Jalen Hurts passing stat line I've ever heard. But it's being glazed to the high heavens. It's so strange.
At least McCarthy on the game ceiling drive threw a nice ball to Jefferson to put it away. Apparently, yeah, Bryce Young checked to pass protect for Rico, apparently, and that won them the game. So he deserves all the credit. Like the way these, and then I'm looking at this tweet where Micah Parsons is saying that, and the fucking replies are flooded with Panthers fans. See, all the casuals just talk about how much he passes for, but guess what? He's the most important player on this team. It's like, oh,
Rico Dowdle, unironically, is the most important. Him and Damian Lewis are the 2 most impact. Like that right guard running back connection is unstoppable. But everyone's like, it's the quarterback. He heard the play and he told everybody what it was. No one else can do that.
Is Rico Dowdle a legit MVP candidate?
Sure. Like they're winning games because of him. Like they beat the Dolphins strictly because of him and Damian Lewis. And then they just beat the Packers kind of almost all because of him, like in the defense somehow. I don't understand this team at all, but they keep winning.
Mike Jackson, bro. Like what kind of clown ass team? We got to stop talking about them. They're becoming my Steelers. Oh,
because they're winning. They're winning games, and they're outside of the Packers, they're beating terrible teams by like 2 in a comeback win, and people are like, "Oh hell, I was right all along." It's so stupid.
God, what is this hell that I've been spawned into? Where even are we now?
I think we have Protector and Comeback Player of the Year left.
All right, let's do Protector. Who is your will and should Protector of the year?
It's Penei Sewell. I'm not even gonna build it up. Like Penei Sewell's having one of the best offensive tackle seasons like ever. And like the PFF grade, the 97 run blocking grade, that's not even hyperbole. Like turn on any Lions game, he is picking up whoever that defensive end is or whoever that linebacker is that is being rudely tasked with going against Penei Sewell is being lifted off their feet and having a 330-pound man squish them into the ground. Like I haven't seen him lose a run blocking rep at all. And he's only given up 6 pressures, no sacks. Like the whole thing why Penei wasn't quite the best tackle in the league yet was because his pass pro was still like a level behind Lane Johnson. And now it's on that level and he's actually been playing better. So comfortably by far Protector of the Year, no doubt.
Agreed. Yeah, he is also my will and my should. It is the one award here that I think is a landslide too.
Mm-hmm.
And obviously PFF grades are at the center of of controversy every single year, but this is one where it encompasses how good he's playing perfectly. Like if someone doesn't know football that well and they booted up PFF and they're like, "Oh my God, Penei Sewell is, graded at 95. Like he must be insane." Yeah, that is a very good reflection of what is happening on the football field. So yeah, there's really nothing else to say. Like there are other guys having great seasons too. Like Creed Humphrey's having a great year.
Mm-hmm.
Garrett Bowles. Eagles tackles. Garrett Bowles.
Garrett Bowles has been like he might be my number 2. He's been unbelievable, but the difference between him and Lane Johnson and everybody else behind Sewell is a canyon. It's a huge gap.
Well, is that the case for Comeback Player of the Year? Is there a could or is there a should and will difference for you here?
I think there's 2 that probably could, and I think there's 1 that should. I think from everything that I keep hearing, it's Dak Prescott and it's CMC for the guys that have the 2 highest odds. Christian McCaffrey is playing unbelievable, ridiculous volume, and Dak Prescott's playing the best football in a long time, but I still think it should be Aiden Hutchinson because Dak went through a tough injury. CMC dealt with an annoying, lingering injury, but Hutchinson snapped his whole damn leg in half, and he's also a defensive player of the year candidate. I don't know how that's not like a firm number 1.
Yeah, that's fair. If I'm being objective, if I'm being logical about how we approach this award, it is Hayden Hutchinson. But being a Bills fan, as we saw a couple of years ago, all of that sense goes out the window. If you're going to give Comeback Player of the Year to somebody that came back from just being bad / old when a guy died, literally died, then in a year where a guy was almost as bad and as thought to be done for as Daniel Jones was, if he doesn't win it, I'm going to be disgusted. I'll be almost as disgusted, assuming Jones finishes the year at this pace. I'll be almost as disgusted as I was with what happened with DeMar. Like, it just, once again, won't make sense. Like, we have this conversation every year. This award doesn't make sense. Is it most improved? Is it comeback? Like, what is it? I don't know how you go and give that shit to Flacco and then a couple years later with Daniel Jones to a much larger extent doesn't get it. It makes no sense to me.
It does.
It makes no sense to anybody.
I think they should just get rid of that part of the award. They should just have their own most improved. That would be Daniel Jones by a landslide.
Yeah.
I guess the only argument was that DeMar Hamlin came back and was unbelievably league average. But still, he died. That's kind of insane. And the only thing I got for Hutchinson is he had an injury that in 2005 would have ended his entire career. But thank God we have modern medicine. His leg is entirely bionic. He still has crazy bend, and he's like arguably the best pass rusher in the league right now. So
Yeah.
that gets my vote. I think that he's been better at his position than CMC and Dak have been, which is nuts because they're both playing top 5 level. But I think Hutchinson's been playing top 3. He is very much deserving of his brand new shiny contract. And I think he should definitely win, but I don't think he's even top 2 in odds, which is funky.
Yeah, the odds for this award are very weird. Like Dak and McCaffrey are at the top, right? And I think it just kind of goes to show that really no one has a damn clue what it is or what the definition truly should be. So, yeah.
Yeah, I'm looking at these odds. Darren Waller has some odds on there.
What are we
coming back from retiring?
I mean, low-key, I mean, it's gross that he's even on the list. But if we're going to open that door, sure, I guess. Make the argument.
All right. So based off of that, I'm gonna see everybody that kind of goes off of that. Like Joe Flacco still on here.
Oh God,
he can't win again.
Imagine that. Oh my God. I would be sick.
Would be like Hunter Renfro's on here.
Okay.
Coming back from being a free agent. Outstanding. Good for you, man. Tank Dell, he hasn't even came back yet. Back.
Wait.
He's just the Still Hurt award. Why does he have odds?
Tank Dell.
Was DeMarcus Lawrence hurt last year? Why is he on here?
I
don't think he was. I think he played the full year. If he was hurt, it was for a small amount of time. Like JJ McCarthy's on here, but he came back and then got hurt again. Not sure you can give it to him. Rashee Rice.
No.
Well, he could have been. He suspended himself.
Oh, okay. I guess I forgot he
got hurt. He got hurt. It was a bad injury.
Yes.
It was a very bad injury. But the reason he can't win this award is because he's only playing 3/4 of the year because he hit and ran somebody pretty bad. So yeah, he kind of hurt his own chance. He could have won this damn award if he didn't, do that crime, but he did. So,
oh man,
too bad.
Well, yeah, that will be fun. That I think that is the biggest crime in history was Damar Hamlin losing that award. People actually defended that. People took to the fucking internet and defended Joe Flacco winning that.
What year was that? Was that 2023 or
2024? 2023.
2023 comeback play. Yeah, it was Joe Flacco, but I want to see the voting because I do remember that being an awfully weak year in terms of superstar player comes back and puts up crazy stat lines because we have 5 of those this year.
Yeah,
that's what's making it hard. But that year, I think I do remember it being a bunch of weird players, like Tua, Calvin Ridley was on here. Baker Mayfield got some votes. I think that was also partially of him sucking and then coming back and being really good again. There weren't any players in the top 3 or top really 5 of voting that came back from actual injury. Joe Flacco won. It was close. It was pretty close in voting though. Damar Hamlin got I think he actually got way more first place votes, but there were also probably a lot of people that thought he didn't even come back and play good. That gave him 0 votes. Joe Flacco got a lot of second place votes, and that's why he won.
What a joke!
That is crazy. I do get if a guy he came back from the dead, but he didn't come back and do anything. I get it. But Joe Flacco just came back from being old.
Yeah, right.
And he also didn't really do that much. He
wasn't even good.
No,
he was talking about average. He was average at best.
The offense was good. He was not. The defense was elite. The offense was average. He was very mediocre. That's crazy. This year is more deserving than last time for him, to be so honest. He's pumping 450 yards right now. He looks fantastic right now. That would be deserving, maybe. But not that. That was bad.
Modern day heist. It's going to come out in 20 years that the sports books had that rigged for Flacco to win, because there was probably so much money on DeMar to win that award that they're like, we could rake right now. We could steal from the public if we make this.
That's
call.
what happened this last year with MVP. They're like, Lamar. Obviously, Lamar deserves it.
God.
We'll give him the "All Here Damn" award. Keep whining about it.
That was one of the funniest things after Josh won. It's like, here, damn, bro.
That was my favorite. That's low-key how it, like, not how it felt, because he just like, he was so unbelievably valuable, but like the Bills fans just like, they wanted an MVP for him so bad. It's all anyone talked about. So like, God, stop. Like,
oh man,
you shut up now. Here's your MVP of like 25 passing touchdowns.
Oh man, NFL Twitter has some. They do well sometimes. That was.
It doesn't touch NBA Twitter, but it's good.
No, it doesn't.
It is good. NBA Twitter is the funniest. I'm so glad they're back.
You see that guy on NBA Twitter that gained like 200,000 followers for getting quote tweeted by like the FBI or something?
It was Hoop Genius. Yeah. Yes. He was like legitimately beefing with Homeland Security. Yes. Like, because he made fun of him, and they tried to clap back, and then he hit him back so much harder. And then he gained like 1 million followers. It was so stupid.
It was so stupid. Like, NBA Twitter rallied around him for no reason.
Why is my government tweeting at someone named Hood Genius? First of all, why do they start? Why is my tax dollars going towards paying some 25-year-old intern to beef with Hoop Genius? That's so stupid.
Oh Jesus, man, where are we? What a sad world. What a sad world, man.
Hoop Genius beefs with Homeland Security. Imagine that. Like, I hear it, like, telling that to me like 15 years ago. Like, what do you mean? Like, what?
People our age used to tell stories 40 years ago about their time in the war. Now we're going to be telling stories about Hoop Genius's beef with Homeland Security
on Twitter.
It's so Twitter. All right. Well, we'll wrap up episode 71 on that note. I'm going to go watch Jacoby Brissett continue his top 15 quarterback campaign.
They are driving currently. They're about to go score. He actually just fumbled the snap. Don't listen to me.
He's feeding Marvin Harrison. He is single-handedly saving Marvin Harrison's legacy. So you can thank Jacoby for that. But if you guys want to talk more football with us, if you guys want to talk about Homeland Security, join the Discord down in the description below. Like, comment, subscribe, share, do all that shit, and we will see you in episode 72.